It's so good winning trophies. They're the moments that you remember when you retire, so they should really cherish this moment. Doesn't happen every day of the week.
Sit back and enjoy it then, in the company at Anfield, Jim Beglin and Peter Drury.
And so at the eventual end of this season, like no other, a coronation unlike anything we have witnessed before. The presentation team comprises Richard Masters at the end of a debut campaign as the Premier League's chief executive, which has thrown at him more than he can have considered remotely possible. It has been an exceptional effort from him and so many around him that the season has reached something like a natural sporting end. And of course, with a mighty poignancy, Sir Kenny Dalglish, in front of almost nobody, gone 10:30 at night on Wednesday the 22nd of July, nearer the intended start of next season than the scheduled end of this. Nigh on a month since their triumph was confirmed, some 4 months since in normal times it would have been sealed. And now look, Shankly, Paisley, Fagan, Dalglish, Jurgen Klopp, from another city in another land, and yet somehow born to this one. At once he understood Liverpool and Liverpool understood him. Simply a transformational leader. His values are their values, his ambitions match theirs, his clenched fist, his sparkling smile, his irresistible charisma, and his approval by the man who, with a nod and a wink and a hug, has passed on across the generations Liverpool's baton of greatness. Dalglish builds a bridge to Klopp. A beautiful moment, Jim.
Yeah, well, Jurgen Klopp has been the real game changer in all of this. You can look at certain players and think, yes, they made a difference, and they did in the likes of Van Dijk and Alisson. But Jurgen Klopp has turned this club right around. And it's almost going back to Shankly's time, Peter. He's made the people happy again.
The physical absence of people is, of course, painfully felt. As much as any club in the world, Liverpool Football Club is its people. The Kop is bricks and mortar, but much, much more than that. It is the souls that stand upon it, that have stood on it since time immemorial, that have swayed and bayed and gloried in this most storied of sporting institutions. How special they would have made this, of course, but how special Liverpool intend to make it for them. That is why it is happening on the Kop. This presentation not for a platform on the players' turf. This one is happening on the people's territory. Poignant and considerate. Liverpool's message to their fans is, and then there's the Scouser. Of them all, he is the one who can say, I was born to this. My club, my city. Thank you, boss.
Alexander-Arnold, Route 66.
And from right to left, they have become twins. What one does, the other matches. The coverage of yards, of miles, week on week, month on month, by those fullbacks is beyond ordinary. As indeed is James Milner, as ordinarily as he tries to portray himself. This now is a 3-time champion of England. He is the captain, a Dalglish investment once doubted by some. The boy born in Sunderland in the summer of 1990 when Liverpool last ruled the land, and who grew one day to lift the European Cup, and a year later to follow now in the fabled footsteps of Ron Yates and Tommy Smith, Emlyn Hughes and Phil Thompson, Graham Souness and Alan Hansen, to skip a Liverpool to the title. At the end of the season they feared may never end. The longest wait, a generation on and more, for the 19th time in their history, for the first time in the Premier League, in the never-to-be-forgotten year of 2020, the champions of England again at last on Liverpool. Champions of the world, they are the champions of Europe, and they are the champions of their own land. this moment, no bird flies higher than the Liver bird. No club anywhere carries the kudos of Liverpool Football Club. Game for game, the quickest champions of the Premier League era, and yet the latest. Not 30 years of hurt, 30 years through which twice they have conquered Europe. They've won the UEFA Cup, 3 FA Cups, 4 League Cups. They've not been hurting, but how they have been itching. And Jim, he brought it them.
He did. It's a club that will always succeed at a certain level, Peter, no matter what happens. But the bread and butter has always been the league, whether it be the First Division back in the day or whether it's the Premier League of today. And this is historic. This is hugely emotional. But those guys under Jurgen Klopp have been absolutely sensational, and you can't deny them the joy they're experiencing right now. This is what it's all about. This is what all the blood, sweat and tears